So what have you brought me today?
Well,
First
of all, I know you're gonna enjoy the hell out of this video,
Alright.
but not for the reasons you might think. I'm not gonna give you any spoilers.
Alright.
I'll just say, let's just jump into it.
Alright. Well, let's go then.
This is my father. I was born in foster care. I didn't have a mother or a father. They gave me away. My father wasn't fit to be my father. This is my dad here, Jacob Benny. He's been there since the beginning. He's done everything. He laid his life down for me, and I lay his life down for him. I don't judge any man on the color of their skin, but the content of their character.
Alright. I already know it's gonna be a doozy. Where do you find these videos, I wonder?
Honestly, it just appeared on my For You page, and I had fun. I actually had fun watching this video. And I think you're gonna enjoy it. That's all I gotta say.
Alright.
Because I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to.
Adoption has to be one of the weirdest concepts imaginable. People picking out babies like puppies. Ooh, this one's a little too ugly. Ooh, this one's too dark. I've never met my real parents. I was adopted from birth.
I mean,
Comparisons, okay. We already started with a slander. Okay
Yup.
then.
Listen,
Love
I don't agree that adoption works like that. To an extent.
it. Nowadays.
To an extent,
Yeah.
nowadays. Before, it was exactly like that.
Yeah, no,
Nowadays-
legit.
Nowadays, it's much more PC. You know, when people start to adopt nowadays, they usually just want to have a kid to share their love with.
Yeah.
But
Before, it's purely functional.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to legitimize someone, for example, like, a ruler had a deadbeat son in a really, really good, guard, or noble or what have you, they adopt them, and bingo bongo, job's done.
yeah,
The kingdom saved.
My mom's Jewish and my dad's Italian. Italian families get mad when their daughter brings home anyone who's not Italian. Now imagine if they bring home a Jewish girl. Now imagine when they adopt a black baby. Yeah. We be walking around at family parties, distant relatives don't fully understand. I see whispers. Is he part of the family? Who's that kid? What the fuck happened to his skin? You'd expect them to not accept me, but what's ironic is it's actually quite the opposite. They'll treat me like a puppy. Oh my god, he's so cute, he's so exotic. They'll show me love while simultaneously acknowledging that I'm not the same as them. For example, they'll come up to me, swing their arm around me and be like, you know you're just part of the family, right kid? Just like everybody else here. And I understand they're
honestly, with what I need to stop saying honestly.
You're not honest. You're lying all the time. Shut
No,
up.
I say honestly way too much, but
Honestly? Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
honest to God. But it's really common for people who are adopted to feel this treatment from the extended family.
Yeah.
So for him to share his experience is something that a lot of people don't realize until you hear it from someone who's lived it first-hand experience.
Yeah.
Who had the first-hand experience. So honestly, kudos to the guy for sharing his story, even though he might make his distant family sound a little bit more unaccepting of the fact that he's adopted.
More superficial.
Yeah.
Because I can't relate even in the slightest with this position. I can't imagine it. So that's the thing I had trouble while watching the intro of this video. I really can't imagine how his life would be with these interactions, but hopefully I get at least a small assessment by the end of it.
Yeah,
Let's see.
you will. You will.
only trying to make me feel accepted when they do that, but they don't get, when they do that, all that does is reassure that I'm way different from them. Because I don't see you fucking doing that to little Johnny over there. Why don't you do the same shit to him? If I really was the same as everybody else, the truth is, you wouldn't even have to come up to me and tell me that. I was raised and grew up around all white people, and what's ironic is, I don't think I've ever experienced real racism. The only racism I've experienced was dumb, ironic racism from my friends in middle school. I'd make fun of my friend because his girlfriend had a mustache. He'd call me a nigger. That's it. And
As God intended.
Listen,
Equal transaction.
it's just banter when it's with friends.
Exactly. You know what's funny? I can wager that me and you have said the N-word more to white people than we have said to black people.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly. Because, it feels uneasy to say it, to say a slander to someone who the slander is drawn for, their, group. But saying it to anybody else is yeah, let's go. You get slandered, you get slandered, you get slandered, you get slandered.
for legal reasons, we have never said that word.
Yes, we have never said a bad word in our lives. Me and him, we're Mormons. We aren't allowed to swear. So, you know.
We even have the Mormon underwear.
Exactly. Plus 10 to the Constitution. Very powerful.
Same night, we'd have a sleepover, his mom would make pizza rolls, we'd play FIFA all night. That's friendship. And the same friend would kill for me even till this day. That's how I made my friends growing up. So when people talk about, oh, all this racism, I just can't relate. All the experiences I've had with white people have been positive. The most racism I've actually experienced in my life was from my own race. Black people telling me, oh, you're not black enough. Oh, bro, you're not even black. You're an Oreo, black on the outside, white on the in. It's like, just because I wasn't raised in the hood, I can't be accepted into black culture.
I really hate when people say racism is bad, and then they start being racist.
Yeah. Because now, many people don't even think that you can be racist towards your own group.
Yeah.
Which is funny. Like, racism isn't really like a directional thing. You aren't really barred or locked from being racist towards your particular group if you're a member of that group. It's just saying hateful shit.
It is, and
intentionally hateful shit.
And the funny thing is, like, we as people have evolved so much that the race of the human being doesn't matter anymore. But because most people are brainwashed by the politicians, by mainstream media, they still cling on to being racist, even though they are not aware of it, even though they claim that they're against racism, just for the sake of fitting in. Like, as someone who has lived in the States, I have been told by a lot of people that I don't act white. What the fuck is acting white?
Yeah.
What the fuck is acting white?
Yeah.
What the fuck is acting black?
Plus, you know what? I had this conversation recently. I hate the rhetorical word, you're acting like that. Or like, why do you act like that when you say that? Like it's an act that I'm like that. Like it isn't part of my nature. It's just an act. It's inherently inferior. I hate that. Like it's those subtle things and rhetorics that are just really, really, really significant, even though we don't pick them up.
I mean, I'm glad that he's pointing out the fucking obvious, that even though most people can't see it, that you shouldn't give a shit about someone's race.
Yeah.
And you should not expect someone to be a certain way because of their fucking race. People need to realize that today it's a social problem that we have. It's not a racial problem like in the past. In the past, there were more racial problems and racial division than today. Today is just social and economical.
Yeah.
But let's just continue because he makes some good points.
Like really, even though our skin's the same color, I can't roll with y'all for that reason. Like what the fuck do you want me to do? Start throwing up gang signs? Is that what you identify as black culture? Shit is sad. And yeah, when people tell me, oh, you're not even black, it hurts. Because regardless of how I act, it's part of my ethnicity. Oh bro, shut up, you're not even black, you're white. Because apparently it's an insult to be white nowadays. And then I'm part Hispanic too, and I like Latinas. I mean, how could you not? But I have zero ties to that culture whatsoever as well.
Man with taste.
Same.
Man with fucking taste.
Same. Can't deny. Can't deny.
And what do you know? It turns out the absolute biggest turnoff to a Latina is not having any culture. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd be trying to dance with them, do the salsa and shit, but they could just tell, nah, something's off. So the Hispanics write me off too. Ah, he's another gringo. He's a gringo. So now every part of my ethnicity doesn't accept me, except for white people. And I'm not even white. Growing up adopted, I would try my absolute best to not think about it and avoid the conversation, but it's virtually impossible. Because it comes up in conversation basically every time I have to meet someone new. I tell them I'm Puerto Rican and black. They tell me, oh, which one's the Puerto Rican one? Your mom or your dad? Now I have to either A, trauma dump on them, oh, I actually don't know. Both my parents are white because I'm adopted. My real parents just throw me to the curb. Or B, just lie. And growing up, I would take the latter and just lie to them so often. But when I did tell people I'm adopted, their reaction would be so weird every time. Their energy will just switch completely. It's actually pretty funny. They'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry. That must have been so hard. Like, nah, not really. I kind of grew up the exact same as you. And they'll start asking dumbass questions like...
So, I love that he shows how much it bothers him that even though he was black, raised by white people, you can see that he loves his family. You can see that they also love him. And what he said about people saying, "Oh, I'm sorry that you've been adopted," dude, it's better to be adopted and live with a family that actually cares for you than living at foster care. Like, why should you be sad that someone's adopted? You should be happy that they got adopted. At least that's what I think. Maybe I'm fucked up. I don't know.
I think that's really interesting to me so far about the video is that most of the discussion is actually a discussion on belonging.
Yeah.
Like, everybody wants to belong somewhere. But the thing that not a lot of people get is that whenever you try to enter a group or belonging, they won't always freely accept you. Sometimes there's criteria. And that's an interesting discussion, I guess, for another video, another day. We could just briefly mention it now. But yeah, oftentimes a lot of groups don't really have a entry bar. You can just come in, hi, I'm that, and hey, we'll take you in. But a lot of groups are very scrutinous. They're very strict.
And mostly it's based on prejudice that they will either accept you or deny you.
Yeah.
It's mostly on prejudice.
Yep.
So you might fulfill the criteria, but if they just don't want to give you the chance, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You're fucked.
Good luck.
So, how old were you when you first found out? But there was a lot of confusion in my own head when I was young, too. Like, damn, why is this shit gonna happen to me? Why can't I just be a normal kid? Why do I have to be this weird white kid that's stuck in a black kid's body? Then, as I got older, that confusion turned into resentment.
Stay fucking strong.
The champ. The champ.
Love this.
No, the guy has humor.
Yeah.
The guy has humor.
He's got banter.
I'll be in the gym like, damn, they didn't want me. I'll come back and show them one day. Like I'm in some fucking anime or something.
The forbidden pre-workout. That is the best pre-workout though.
What do you mean by that?
Mental trauma.
Oh, yeah.
This is the best pre-workout. What do you mean?
I mean...
Bar none.
I mean... Growing up adopted, especially when your adopted family is a different race, can cause a lot of trauma, not because of the family, but because of everyone around you. Because he's in his 20s, I assume?
I guess.
Maybe late teens? He still got adopted in a time where the world was not so accepting of everything.
Yeah.
Today we're accepting to a fault.
But are we really? Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
That's the thing.
We are. And the thing is, when he was growing up, he probably still experienced some... How should I put this without sounding stupid? Some bad phrases from people who did not intend them in a bad way. Does that make any sense? People were just
underhanded comments. Underhanded comments.
Pretty much, pretty much. So again, that just shows where his fucking humor comes from.
I just couldn't quite wrap my head around the fact that you can have a child somewhere, your own genetics, and just not give a fuck at all. They say blood's thicker than water. Well, what happens when you don't have any blood? What happens when you've never met your real parents? And don't get me wrong, I'm aware my adopted parents love me more than anything in the world and would do anything for me. But finding my real parents for me was just like a missing piece of my puzzle.
People need to realize that just because it's family, that does not mean that you need to stick together forever. Family are people who you do not choose. You can have the worst kind of people in your family. That does not mean you should be ride or die for them. You shouldn't do everything that they ask you to do because of, blood is thicker than water. Sometimes, most times, the connections you make in your life with people you have never met before, with your friends, with your partners, with whatever, those are more important than family. That's why every single person who wants to start a family, you don't do it with your own blood.
Yeah.
You don't do it with your own blood. So technically,
I mean, depending where you live.
the English, the Americans, but no, jokes aside, blood is thicker than water has no fucking meaning because the only one who has the same blood as both of the parents is the kid. The parents don't share the same blood most of the time. So that phrase is so fucking stupid, and you should never fucking listen to someone who says, "Oh, but they're family, we should help them." No, fuck them. If they don't deserve help, fuck them.
Yep.
Sorry, had to go on a mini rant.
Feel better now?
Oh yeah.
That's good. That's
Oh
good.
yeah.
Let's go.
So I would go on Google, try and look them up by their name, see how they look like. Nothing. I got ghosted by my own parents like a goth girl. So then when I was younger, I was like, damn, if my own parents want nothing to do with me, then why the fuck would anybody else? It's a bad way of thinking, but when I was younger, that's the way that I thought. And I know, bro, they were just trying to give you a better life. I understand that, but it's just like, I would just like to have a conversation with them. That's it. And the fact that it seemed like they just forgot about me and moved on with their lives, it kind of hurt. And it's easy for me to just sit here all day and pity myself about the situation, but the truth is, I have no right to be anything other than grateful, because I shouldn't even be alive right now. And that trips me out even till this day. Because my mom had me when she was 14 years old. What were you doing at 14? Playing Minecraft all
Giving birth?
I mean, I wasn't.
I mean, me neither.
I know why.
Yeah, me too. I'd be surprised if we gave birth at 14. You know? I'd be really surprised.
I'd be surprised if we gave birth now.
Yeah, you know.
Ever.
Fair. Yeah,
Ever.
fair.
If we ever
Fair.
give birth.
Did you just assume my gender?
Yes, I did.
But Stan, you've got no womb! Okay, I love Monty Python.
Oh, fuck that hell.
Okay, digressions aside.
jerking off for the first time. It's rare for a 14-year-old to get pregnant, and when they do, they just get abortions. So what are the odds that I wasn't just scooped out with a coat hanger or just thrown into foster care like what happens to most of the kids, and I was actually adopted by a family that loves me? The truth is, most kids in my position don't get nearly as lucky as me. They become abortions or thrown into foster care to rot away. I got given this opportunity that I really shouldn't even have, and now I can't fuck it up. Now I have to do something worthwhile with my time that I'm here. And not even for me, fuck that, but for everybody else that gave me a second chance at life. For my parents that adopted me, and for my parents that gave me up for adoption. That's who I owe it to, them. And when I was younger, that's something that I just couldn't wrap my head around, but now I can't be anything other than grateful for my parents giving me up for adoption. And as I grow older, I see that that statement, blood's thicker than water, doesn't mean shit. I've talked to so many people whose parents don't give a fuck about them, beat the shit out of them every night, molest them, while my parents handpicked me for a better life. For a lot of y'all, the condom just broke and your parents just stuck it out with you. There's people who fucking suffer every single day in their households. There's people who don't even have parents. So if you have two loving parents in your life, they're gonna be annoying sometimes, but shut the fuck up and just appreciate them. But at the end of the day, if you know some tips for pulling Latinas, you gotta let me know, because this shit's getting out of hand. Thanks for watching.
I told you it's gonna be completely different from what you expected.
Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't expect anything, so, like, I'm not that surprised, but it's interesting, you know?
Like, it's honestly heartwarming to hear that he knows how much he is loved. And it's heartwarming that he knows that he's lucky to have that to happen to him. And honestly, it fills my heart when I see someone appreciating what they have. Personally, I know you're never gonna fucking see this video, man. But my tip for you is just stay the way you fucking are. You're fucking hilarious, and you're gonna pull the Latina baddies eventually.
Or the God Babes.
Or Latina god babes.
That's just heavenly, that's just heaven.
But do you have anything to add? Do you have a tip for him?
I'm good. No, I'm good.
No, you don't have tips for him?
Go to the gym, train till failure, you'll feel much better.
But let us know what you guys think about this topic. Make sure to go and send him some love. And as always, we'll see you next time.